It's a quick update to subscribers of my newsletter. Crypto is easy. If you're not subscribed, click the link in the description below. Head on over. If you like what you see, please sign up. And you can subscribe to this YouTube channel as well. You'll get the videos at the same time everybody else does. Now, so I had a chance to catch up on my crypto YouTube. And there are a few things, there are a few stories going around I wanted to give you my input on. The first one is there's a story now about how all these whales pulled their money off of exchanges, that this is them holding or they're taking back their Bitcoin, and which is like a good thing, and it is, but I don't see any of that in any of the hodl patterns that I look at on the through Glassnode. If you find something, if you have access to that data, please let me know. I didn't see anything of significance at all. Now, granted, the hodl waves don't change much from a day to day. You really have to step back and look at the trends over a week, a month. But even so, just because big accounts move Bitcoin off of exchanges doesn't necessarily mean anything. They can move that Bitcoin around all sorts of different ways. They have networks of contacts. They have brokers. They have personal dealings with people. You don't know if this is just a bunch of rich people. They had a Zoom conference last week. They said, "Oh, well, and they all agreed. Hey, I think we should probably do something with this Bitcoin." And then they just organized or coordinated to do whatever they want to do. Now, I'm not saying that happened. I'm not saying that didn't happen. I'm just saying don't necessarily read anything into that. The other thing is, there's this thing going around now about the halving. It's a new story related to the halving, where people are saying, okay, on average, a year and a half after the halving, price gets to all-time high, and so that should be an expectation. And I've heard this on a few places. That, oh, it's history. Oh, it's happened all the time. 10 years of history, 11 years of history. And I'll tell you guys, while that's factually correct, it's history based on 3 events. And really, only 2 of them had a chance to play out. We don't know how this next halving is going to be. So it's not like 11 years of history, like the things we look at, the hodl waves, all the metrics and the data that I've shared with premium subscribers. Those are things that happen every day for 11 years. You can see you can draw all sorts of conclusions and study this stuff, and you see real, valid, legit patterns over time. 2 halvings, even if you include this one, 3 halvings, that's not enough to establish really any pattern of any significance or to read anything into it. I certainly don't factor the halving into anything that I'm doing. Like I said, it's a great event. It's a great event. It's also really, it has a very key role, a pivotal role in Bitcoin's success as an asset, as a financial network. So I don't want to discount the importance of the halving and the significance of the halving. I'm just saying I'm not making any decisions about what I do with my Bitcoin or altcoins or anything else based on the halving, simply because 2 events is not enough. And even if you include this third, that's still not enough for me to draw any conclusions of any kind. And, excuse me, allergies. And this particular halving, this is the first halving. The other 2, the halvings had a really significant impact on the total amount of Bitcoins coming into the market. But now you're at a point where you have 18 million Bitcoins already on the market. Another 375,000 a year, while it's not insignificant, it's not going to move it. The first halving was a huge event. It was massive because you only had, I think, like 10 million Bitcoins, something like that. And you were going from, God, I don't know, but it was a lot. It was like, 3 million a year or something like that. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. But all I'm saying is the change in the emission schedule proportionate to the number of Bitcoins that are already in existence was huge. It was massive. The second one was pretty significant. This one is not that significant. And I've talked about that in other videos. So sorry if that's a little rapid fire. I'm talking really fast, but I just want to make this really super quick and simple and direct. Let you know what I'm thinking about as you see these narratives, these stories unfold. Take it with a grain of salt. Take what I say with a grain of salt. Take what they say with a grain of salt. But just think about the bigger picture and the bigger perspective. So I hope that was helpful. I guess I'll let you guys get going and relax and enjoy the ride.